In this video, I'm going to show or demonstrate how to create a rubric for grading different assignments within D2L. And I'm going to use a course from a previous semester so that I don't mess up anything. So you log in to D2L and select a course. Once the course opens, if you'll go up at the top of the screen where your different options are, your widgets, you want to select the widget Assessments. Click on the drop-down arrow and choose Rubrics. Now I have several in here already that I've used in previous semesters, but we want to create a new one. So we're going to choose New Rubric. We can give it a title, and I usually title it whatever maybe I'm going to use it for. For example, if I were going to do Module 1, Project 1, or Discussion, or whatever. So I'm going to put this as Demo, okay, or Demonstration. So you give it a name, and then it comes up kind of as a default. You have different types that you can do. I usually do analytic, but you can also do holistic. You can score by points, and you can customize those points. It defaults with 4 different levels. So if you had, where you're going to give partial credit at 4 different levels, you could do, at 4 different things. You could do that. I usually do custom points. So under scoring, you hit the drop-down arrow and change it to custom points. And then you have kind of a table here. Across the top, each column represents the level or the point value. If you have more levels than you need, then you can simply delete one. So I typically only have 3 levels. So I can delete just by clicking the box. If I decide later I need to add one back, you can go back and add one using the little plus sign at the end of that row. So now I'm back and I have a new level, and you can name it. You can click in the level boxes and change the names if you want to do so, however you want to do it. So I'm going to go back and delete this new level. And, for example, if the assignment maybe is worth, the question's worth maybe say 5 points, if they get it completely correct. If they get it partially correct, I usually do 2.5, or like half credit. You can set as many levels as you want. If they don't do the question, or they get it totally incorrect, they get 0. The criterion, okay, for the criterion, that's like whatever you're grading. So it might be, if you have a project or something, it might be question 1. So down in that first column is where you can put, what it is that particular point value corresponds to. And you can change the point values for different criterion. And so, I put question 1, it's worth 5 points, and I might say something like, student answers question correctly, uses complete sentence if that's something that you're requiring. If you've kind of given them guidelines, on one of my assignments, they have to have at least 4 sentences. So like I might put, wrote at least 4 sentences, whatever you're using to base on that they're going to get full credit if they do A, B, and C. I put under the 5-point value. Then I go over to the level 2 or the 2.5 point value, and I may say student answers question maybe partially correct. Maybe they got the correct answer but gave me the wrong sign. They only wrote 2 sentences. They wrote less than 4 sentences, did not use complete sentences. Again, whatever you have said they're supposed to do for the level 2 or the 2.5 point value is where you're going to say, okay, you didn't do this. This is why I'm deducting points. And then typically for the 0 point value, I just usually say student answers incorrectly, so they get the question wrong, or they did not complete the question. They just didn't do it at all. You could even, if there's something and you really want to make sure they follow the instructions, you could even say, did not follow instructions. So, and you can be as detailed as you want. You can have as many levels as you want. Again, I typically stick with 3. I either do full credit, half credit, or 0 credit. And then I just keep moving down. I can go to the next criterion, and that's maybe question 2. And, it might be that it's still the same point value, 5, 2.5, and 1. Or it maybe it's only worth 2 points, and then you have 1 point, and you have 0 points, okay? And again, you can go ahead and fill it in with, okay, the student does, student answers question correctly, whatever criteria you're using to say, yes, you did this correctly. For 1 point, again, usually that's where they get it partially correct, or they didn't follow the instructions, or they've done something partially incorrect, and then 0 is incorrectly. So you work out all the way down, okay? If you want to look at the options, you can. It defaults and the rubric is visible to the student so they can see your expectations. I don't usually change any of these, so I just leave them as is. So once you have your rubric complete, okay, let's see, where did we go once we get it complete? That's where I don't remember. Hold on just a second. Okay, so once you get the rubric set, it's automatically saved and it's published again where they can see it. So I can just close it out. Okay, I can preview it so you can see what it looks like on the screen. That's how it's going to look when you're using it. It's also how it's going to look when with the students. Okay, so I'm going to close this. And then you have to also connect that rubric to the assignment. Okay, and the way you do that, for example, if I go to assessments and to assignments, and I'm just going to pick one so you can see how to make the connection. Let's say I go to Module 1, Project 1, and I click on the down arrow and I want to edit the assignment. Okay, and I'm going to go to, let's see. Okay, if you'll scroll down, once you open up the edit the assignment, you have properties, restrictions, objectives, and turn it in. Okay, so under properties, if you'll scroll down, it says evaluation and feedback. You enter how much the assignment is worth. For example, if it was worth 100 points, you'd put in 100. If it's worth 10, you put in 10. You select the grade item. If I might be selecting like the Project 1, okay? If you need to create the grade item, you can click here and it'll walk you through the process of creating that grade item if you haven't already. But then here's the key part, okay? Once you keep scrolling down, you want to add the rubric, okay? So you would click on add the rubric, select the one that you want to use. So we had demonstration, and we're going to add the selected. And it adds that to that assignment, okay? And so then we can save it and close it, okay? Now, I'm going to delete this because I don't want it to show up in my thing, but that's how you do it. Okay, I'll walk through that again. Okay, so you go to choose your assignment under assessments, go to assignments, choose the assignment that you're going to use with that rubric, edit the assignment, scroll down under the Properties tab to Evaluation and Feedback, set your point value, choose the grade item, and then you're going to add the rubric. Add the rubric. And then you choose the rubric you want, and you add selected. And then you can save and close. When you're ready to grade the assignment, you come back to Assessments, choose Assignments, choose the assignment, and this time, if you'll click on the assignment folder so that it opens it up, it's going to give you the submissions. When you get to the submissions, choose the student, and the rubric has already been selected. The one downside, and this is the part where I have a little bit of trouble, is the rubric wants to populate over the top of the assignment, but you can minimize it, okay, or move it around on the screen so that you can have the rubric is off to the side and you can see the screen. So that's kind of to me, that's really the hardest part. And then you just go down and click the boxes. Excuse me, I got off this screen there, David. Okay, and you choose. So like if I choose demonstration and I'm grading, I might have to pull it off to the side. And I say, well, okay, they did everything for question 1. They did everything for question 2, and so forth. I'm just going to click the boxes. I think you've been doing that in the 1401 course already, and so you probably know how to do the grading. And hopefully you can follow how to go about setting it up. But if you have additional questions, feel free to email me, and we will see if we can figure it out so that you can use it in your course.